What's going on, everybody? Astrology Universal Official is the channel, and today we're going to be going over Aries. Aries as a zodiac sign. We're going to be going over all of the things covering Aries, what it means for you if you have an Aries sun, an Aries rising, or even an Aries moon. What are the key quality or traits of Aries and things of that nature? Let's get into it. Aries, Aries breakdown. If you don't know, Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. This is the symbol for Aries right here in the top corner, top section. And one of the first keywords you're going to need to understand, Aries is fire. It's fiery. What do you need to know about Aries? Aries is a fire sign. Aries is a cardinal sign. Aries is the start of the spring season, which is going to be March 21st on average every year. And of course, it's the first zodiac sign. Let me break this down into more detail for you. Talking about Aries as a fire sign. In astrology, you're going to have the fire signs, the earth signs, the air signs, and the water signs. With Aries being the first of the fire signs, Aries points to the start of everything, the start of the chart. It is the first zodiac sign ever, everything. Aries is going to point to that fire, people who are go-getters, people who are more about taking action in their lives, people who can from time to time can be impulsive depending on what they're doing and how they see themselves and how they view life around them. But Aries and Aries people tend to be more leaders. They tend to be more proactive, things of that nature. Aries being a cardinal sign. Aries being a cardinal sign. With Aries being a cardinal sign, what are the cardinals? The cardinals point to the most influential parts of the chart, where they have the most effect on the world around us. This is going to be the place of the ascendant, which is also ruled by the zodiac sign of Aries. This is going to be the DC, where Capricorn is at the top of the chart. IC, where Libra is, which is going to be the opposite end of the chart, sunset, and then IC, which is going to be where Cancer, the placement of Cancer is. Aries, the ascendant, and the first house all are going to give you that pure fiery energy, not only in terms of talking about one's personality, is going to also talk about everything having to do with the color red. The color red is going to do with actual fire, doing with all of these things that point to in your life when it comes to understanding that of Aries. And if you don't know, and I'll say it again, Aries is the start of the spring season. March 21st is going to be 0 degrees of Aries. Some people get confused and think they could be a double cusp baby. There is no true double cusp baby. You're either one sign or the other. 0 degrees in any chart you find is going to be the start of that zodiac sign. Is going to be start of the cusp and start of that house. The days may shift every year. The days may shift, but the degrees never change. So if you're born, you may have been born on March 21st in this one year, and it might have been 0 degrees Aries. And on a different year, you may have been born on March 20th or even the 22nd, and it could have been 0 degrees Aries. The only thing that matters is when you go look at your chart, when you put in your natal chart to go find out, it is going to be 0 degrees of Aries. That is what you're going to want to look for. Not only is 0 degrees Aries the start of spring season, it's also going to be around 4 to 6 a.m. in the morning. 4 to 6 a.m. in the morning, if you're born around that period of time, just about, you're going to be an Aries rising. You're also going to be an Aries rising. It will shift depending on where you are born on the planet based on your geo coordinate position, but you're going to be in Aries rising. Here are some keywords for Aries so you can get a better understanding. Aries are go-getters. They're all about action, being the first, the only. It points to the start. It points to yourself, the self, everything regarding the self. And it points to everything in your physical world. Being in Aries, people need to understand this too. Your zodiac sign, your sun sign, is not the only part of your chart. It isn't the only part of your chart. You are, for in fact, all 12 of the zodiac signs. You are a human being, and you'll find Aries anywhere in your chart. Not only if you're a sun sign. You may not be an Aries sun sign and you're just watching this video. You have Aries somewhere in your chart, whether you're a Taurus, Gemini, Capricorn, Libra, Virgo, Sagittarius, Pisces, Scorpio. You have Aries somewhere in your chart. You have Mars somewhere in your chart, and you have a first house and an ascendant. These are all things that will point toward Aries. So, Aries are going to be, or what are some factors of Aries that affect everybody? Aries points to the points in your life where you want to be more athletic, where you want to be more competitive. It points to where you are um more in the state of action and more in the state of drive, when you're forward moving, proactive, when you're more action oriented, you're more of a pioneer. It also points to times in your life where you can be more angered, you can feel more irritation. Anytime you've ever got into a big fight, you may have had your son run over the first house, run into the sign of Aries. Maybe you're having a transit. The transiting sun may be in Aries, or you have a transiting planet running across Mars. These are all things to indicate why in your life you may be at some points in times more proactive, some points in time more angry, sometimes more in time in hot red situation. The color red, as you can see behind me, red, any shade of red is Aries as well. All of these things are different variations of how you can look to the zodiac sign of Aries to indicate it for you. And you can take down all these keywords if you want to. These are all indicators for the sign of Aries. And depending on where your Mars is in your chart is going to flavor or shade how what type of Aries that you are. If you have, if you are an Aries and you have a bad experience with certain other zodiac signs, that's because you have certain placements in your entire zodiac chart that is going to point to why you don't. For example, Saturn is going to point to people you don't get along with. So if you don't get along with a lot of Tauruses, for that very reason, you might have your personal Saturn in Taurus. But that doesn't mean all Tauruses are bad, or if somebody has ever said anything bad about you being an Aries, they in their personal chart, depending on what sign of the chart they are, don't usually have a good time with Aries and things of that nature and intent. Let's go on to the next slide for a little bit. Here are some physical things that Aries categorize: fire, police, fire trucks, any shade of the color red, anger. These are different ways. Anytime you're going through an Aries situation in your life, you could see these physical things. Anytime police are involved, fire trucks, ambulances are involved, every time there's an emergency, every time you see, every time you get a cut, a scrape, a scar, a wound on your body, this is all Aries. That's all Aries. That's all the manifestation of the frequency, the energy of Aries coming into effect in your chart, coming into effect in real time, and things of that nature as well. If you ever had allergies, sinus headaches, things of that nature, anything involving your head, that's also Aries as well. That also points to Aries as well. Things of that nature. Aries also points to the part in the chart, whether you're a female or not. Aries is going to point to being masculine, being aggressive, being more focused on courage, bravery, expressing yourself. Aries is your self-expression when you do things for yourself, whether self-love, self-care, self-reflection, anything revolving the self for the positive and the negative aspects. All is indicated for Aries. It also points to dogs, ferocious dogs, lone wolves, things of those like animals of those natures, ferocious animals that tend to be on their own. That's going to point to Aries as well as a zodiac sign. And it also points to the planet Mars in its description. Everything having to do with just being, again, action oriented, being a steward, the leader first, pioneering. Think about it this way: for you to be a leader, you must be able to push ahead past any doubt, any discrepancy. You got to be able to just lead. You can't let other things stop you in your tracks. You have to be able to push forward. This is why you're always action oriented and all about going about your way. You don't have time sometimes to just think. Sometimes you just got to act. You just got to do. This is Aries energy. Now, here's a general breakdown for all Aries. Aries, you are go-getters. When it comes to your values, your materials, you value your materials, Aries. When it comes to your friends, your siblings, your neighbors, you love to communicate with them. When it comes to your home life, Aries, you love your family. You love your family is your home to you. Where your home is where your family is. When it comes to your love life, Aries, you are a person who's known for expressing yourself in your love affairs. And you would also love your children if you had children too. When it comes to your work life, Aries, you love to put in the work. You love to improve your work. You love to work on your health. A lot of Aries love to work out, improve their work, improve their physical health, things of that nature. When it comes to their relationship partner, they always like to be in a mutual agreement with their partner. And they need a partner that can be very peaceful. They don't want a partner that they have to fight with. When it comes to their partner's property, they are very, very, very suspicious of their partner's properties. And they are really about ride or die for what their partner has when it comes to their property. When it comes to Aries, they find happiness in education. They find happiness in higher learning. They find happiness from preachers, from teachers, from educators, or from educating people. And Aries, when it comes to your career, you are known as the boss. You are known as the landlord, or people know you for just being mean or cruel from periods of time. When it comes to your friends, you would say your friends are geniuses. You would say your friends can be weird, unusual, unique, rebellious. These are your friends, Aries. And when it comes to the way you believe, you are very quiet. When you're alone, you sleep. When you're in your private times, you tend to take time away from everybody else when you're alone and just sleep, relax, rest. This is going to be Aries breakdown. This was a breakdown for Aries. I hope you would enjoyed it. Next week on my next slide, you're going to be able to find Taurus. I'm going to make it, upload it to a playlist. And I hope you all enjoyed this video. We'll catch you next time.